Hi, I'm Darrell Klassen, and thank you for coming along and joining us today for a few minutes. I know you want to get the information. It's going to come up on your email in just a few minutes, okay? You'll be able to look there and get it. In the meanwhile, I want to just kind of set the scene and show you a few things and share with you a little bit. But you can relax. There's nothing for sale. I just want to chat with you for a couple of minutes so you kind of get to see who I am. Okay, I'm a 75-year-old golf pro. I'm a PGA member. I've been teaching for over 50 years. I've had very good success. I've had a lot of tour players, no famous people. I'm not famous. 7 or 8 kids I've helped get on tour, on an LPGA and a PGA tour, Canadian tour, the old Ben Hogan tour, goes back a ways. For the most part of my prime time of my years, I shot in the 60s very consistently. But just like you, when I started, or as I was learning, I went through the same struggles. I sliced everything. It didn't matter how many magazine articles I read about what position you got to be in and how to do this and how to do that. Nothing worked. I lived out on a farm, way away from the golf course, didn't have the money for lessons, so I had to figure this out on my own. In the process of becoming a professional, I learned how to figure it out and what makes everything happen. Yeah, I'd shoot 80 one day and shoot 95 the next. No different than anybody else. My ball sliced all the time. It wasn't fun. It was frustrating. It was hard. I'd read magazine articles. Didn't help a bit. I still slice everything. Then one day on my way to becoming a professional, I discovered what makes a ball, what makes it curve. What makes it curve left? What makes it curve right? Doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. What makes it curve one way or the other? What makes you top the ball? What makes you hit fat? What makes the ball fly? How do you make this thing fly? What does spin for? I'll teach you what backspin is all about, and side spin, and how to curve the ball, how to control it and do what you want to do, make it land where you want it to. It's really fun once you learn all of that stuff. And if you're not having enough fun yet in your golf, it's because you don't know how to make it do what you want it to do. That little white golf ball should not be in control of you. I'll guarantee you that over 95% of all the golfers in the world are totally at the mercy of that golf ball. You don't need to be. A good example of that is John came to see me several years ago. He played for 25 years. He was a 25 to 28 handicap. Sliced everything. He'd been to see probably at least 40 of the most famous golf teachers in the world. He came to see me because his son-in-law was my doctor. He wouldn't have come to me as a no-name if they hadn't been for that. And all of a sudden, John shows up, and he was very cordial. He said, Darrell, I've sliced all my career, 25 plus years. I've been to sea, and no one can help me. I still slice, so I don't expect you to fix me. I would just like to see if you can maybe help me learn to slice a little less so I can have more fun. I said, John, what would you like to do? What kind of shot would you like to hit? So I'd like to hit a little draw. I said, okay. So we talked for a while. I said, John, here's what we're going to do. Here's the program. He's going to be an hour that day and an hour the next day before he headed back out of the country, actually, and where he lived in Canada. And I said, the number one thing we have to do today, I got to teach you how to slice a golf ball. He looked at me. Now, John's a big executive. He's worth a lot of money, and he's making a lot of money at the time. And he wasn't very happy with that statement. He said, learn how to slice, Darrell. That's all I do now. And no one can fix it. I said, well, the problem is no one taught you how. I said, if you knew how to slice, you'd know how to not slice, right? He got the funniest look and he says, well, I guess that would make sense. I said, okay, so I'm going to teach you how to slice. Okay, so we talked, and I visited, and I shared to see what he does and did in life, and what kind of sports, or anything, what he might know where I could tap into some common ground. We did that. I'm not cheap, and John's looking at his watch, and I could tell he's getting a little impatient because I'm talking way into 40 minutes of this lesson. I said, John, finally, I see you looking at your watch all the time because you're not that happy about just talking about this. But I said, I've explained some things to you. Have you really, really, really listened to what I've been telling you and sharing with you? He said, yeah, I think so. I said, do you think you understand what makes a ball slice? He said, I believe I do now. I said, would you like to hit a draw then like you've always wanted to? He said, I'd love to. I said, get your 7-iron and step out there where those golf balls are and scrape one over. Take a couple of rehearsals to rehearse what you think you need to feel to make the ball curve left. Don't worry where it goes. Just see if ball's flying, it's curving left. John steps up and bingo, the first shot goes left after 2 or 3 of those. I said, now, you understand that? Yep. I said, you'll learn to control it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I said, now make one curve with a slice like you've always done. See if you know how. He took that little 7-iron and just curved the ball off the right and looked at me and says, that's amazing, Darrell. How'd you learn this? I said, it wasn't easy. Who taught it to you? I said, I did. Through the grace of God, I did myself. And I said, that's not boasting. I didn't have any choice because I was a terrible golfer and a terrible slicer. John went home, became his club champion, literally. The following season, he became the men's club champion for 3 years running. Okay? 25 handicap to club champion. Just over a little simple information. He said, why don't you get this out to the world? He said, no one I've ever heard one teach like this. Well, this is fun. I said, John, I don't teach anything different than anybody else. I just teach a different approach. He said, yeah, but it's easy to understand. Man, you got to get this out. So anyhow, I'm not trying to boast to you. I'm just telling you, when you can do what you want with a golf ball, it becomes lots of fun. Jim, one of my students, got good enough. He got to play in a pro-am with Phil Mickelson. Now, you'll fall off your chair when you hear this, and it's the gospel truth. Phil Mickelson, probably the greatest short game player of all time, complimented Jim on his short game and how he went about it and how he hit his shots and how he was making the strokes. Phil Mickelson, follow that, okay? I could tell you story after story of students who become very successful by getting information fed to them in a totally different manner. Some of it may not even be golf related, except it applies to golf. Once you see the picture, it goes, well, heck, why didn't I think of that? That's too easy. And that's the whole idea. You've heard of, I know I did. Clear when I was back a young pro and a youngster just about to become a pro, I'd hear the pros say, well, if you want to hit a draw or whatever, a high shot over the trees or this or that, just first of all, just kind of use your imagination and see the shot and then hit it. Well, I'll tell you what, I tried that and it didn't work. And I'll tell you why it didn't work, because I didn't know how to hit the shot they were talking about. If you don't know how to hit it and make it curve left, you can dream about it until the cows come home. You're still not going to hit it. So what I like to do, and what we do that makes this all so much fun, is I teach you and help you learn what makes a golf ball do what it does. Has nothing to do with the golf swing. For me personally, what changed me is when I quit following all the magazines and all the tips and all the ideas, just a jumbled up mess everywhere. Not that anyone was wrong, just bits and pieces everywhere, fragmented. When I finally realized that if I just use the information to make the ball do what I want to do, I don't have to worry about all these little fragments and all these little tips and everything. It just happens. You just end up with a good golf swing. Now I want to get out of here so you can go look at your stuff. I do want to tell you real quickly, just something to think about if you enjoy the program you're about to see. I've got something that's called the Darrell Klassen Inner Circle, DKIC. It's a place where golfers from all over the world get together. It's like being in a clubhouse and shooting the breeze over a beer or whatever. And we chat about golf. We chat about how we played. We chat about problems we've had. We listen to each other, get to know each other. Just kind of a great golfing community. It's really fun. It's great fun. It's a monthly program. I do some live stuff on there with videos where we can interact with each other. You learn everything from putting the ball. I mean, putt like the pros. I mean, really, really get good. I've had 4 different professionals. I'm not allowed to tell their names, but I've had 4 different professionals come to see me for putting, and every one of them said, that's the best information I've ever heard. If you like what you're going to hear here in just a little bit on your email, you want to think about the Darrell Klassen Inner Circle. You'll hear information how to get there and what to do, so it's not a problem. We talk together. We learn every shot in golf, how to fix problems and troubles we're having, how to hit a variety of shots, trouble shots and things that give us trouble, how to hit from different lies, how to curve it left, curve it right, how to make it land where you want, how to put backspin on it. It's just, we have a blast. And when one of the guys, when you're in there and you're struggling with anything, you just type in a question and it gets answered. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 guys will chime in and tell you what they did. I'll answer it and tell you what I did and what'll work for you. And you go out and you figure it out and you learn. Everybody goes, wow, that's a lot of fun. So think of the Darrell Klassen Inner Circle. Go watch what you're going to watch right now. And I really, really, really hope that I can get that chance to visit with you personally in the Darrell Klassen Inner Circle somewhere in the very, very near future. Thanks for letting me take some time of yours. I really appreciate it. You have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.